Good day, folks. Thank you so much for joining. As you all know, AI is on the horizon these days, and there are a lot of certifications, and there's a lot of books and courses, and lots of things being thrown around. And in light of this, there's a new certification that is on the horizon that is called AIGP. And thank you to our guest here today, Umar Muzaffar. He recently went through the certification, and congratulations, Umar, first of all, for passing that. And we will talk about AIGP certification. There's other certifications as well, which we've talked about in earlier sessions. But today we will focus on AIGP. So, with having said that, Umar, let's start off with what led you to do the AIGP. How did that align with your previous things that you've done in your career, and where do you see the AIGP moving forward and the AI industry moving forward? And that's a very loaded question, so we'll break it down in this 5-10 minutes conversation, please.
Thank you, Saad, for having me over. So with the AI, I say just like 6 years or maybe 8 years back, we have the buzzword like cloud. Nowadays, it's all about AI, whether we are working in financial sector, technology, or any social sciences. So for this certification, which is like AIGP, Artificial Information Governance Professional, it's being offered by the IAPP, which is like one of the prestigious body for the privacy professional, International Association of Privacy Professional. And since I've been working in privacy domain for the last 6 years, so to ladder up in further, and especially when you're working on a privacy domain, so AI is not complementing it, but you have many impact assessment or other third-party assessment where you have the integration of AI, which is becoming a mandatory. So you need to know how AI basically work in those system, how it's going to impact your assessment, and how it's going to impact from the privacy perspective. So that was the first and foremost reason that I already have the two certification in privacy. So that is why it is linked with that. Now coming from the guidance perspective, it is not a technology or like some technical certification. So for example, someone working in technology domain and they think, okay, I need to add some a badge to my portfolio. It's not 100% for them. It's good to have. So anyone, I would say, make it in very simple, particularly working in privacy domain, in risk domain, or overall we say in our GRC domain, or any project managers who are dealing with AI related project, it's good for them to have because this certification is more about the framework. It's not
Hmm.
give you the technological aspect like okay how the code work. It may give you a glimpse, but primarily it's from the framework like how you have to implement the AI, or if you are working on a project and there is integration of AI, how are you going to work on those things, and if you are working in a company which is bringing a new AI solution, how you're going to do the assessment from GRC perspective. So that is for the AIGP. And just to add on that, like other certification, just like we have the three major clouds or more than three clouds. So another body which is like ISACA, they're also offering the certification particularly for the AI, but that is more for the security managers. So I would say someone who want to transition their career into AI, someone working from in finance industry or someone in marketing and they want to learn or establish foundation, then this certification is good to have. Now, this certification doesn't have any prerequisite, like you don't need to have this amount of year in any particular domain. But as I mentioned, what I have personally seen, most people who are working in privacy, data privacy, like just to add on that, or and cybersecurity, they are the more, I would say, the recipient. They are opting for this certification. But I have never seen any software developer or any web developer going for this certification, but it doesn't add much value to their portfolio as of now. And I think you asked about AI. So we say now AI is becoming, we have to live and work in that. So we should not fear with the AI. I think it's about the how we have to embrace it. Just like in our early days, or maybe our in our grandfather time, we heard about like how they transitioned from typewriter to the computer,
Not
and
a
now
grandfather dynamo. That is
okay,
a
so
that is
maybe
a that is
okay, okay. So
anyway. Yeah.
it could be like maybe our father time. So people
Yeah.
who fear from using the typewriter, they say we are used to of using the typewriter. We don't want to switch to computers. And similarly, which we have seen in our in our childhood, like we used to use a dial-up internet, and now we're using very frequently the Wi-Fi. So it's very simple. The only thing is need to be adaptable for the change, and definitely it's add value. to your, I would say, your daily operation, whatever domain you are in.
And I think, thank you so much for adding that. And I think the governance aspect of AI is something which we as humans also need to be really cognizant about. And organizations, they go in, start implementing an AI solution without realizing what are the guardrails that need to be in place for a proper deployment. In terms of the certification, can you unpack it, like how like there's the PMP in the project management, there's the CBAP in business analysis, there's process certification. In terms of the AGIP, I just call it AGIP, I don't know, AIGP, how
Mhm.
much time do you think it takes for you to go through the material? And is it a dry kind of material, like some certification material is pretty dry to read through? So how did you work around that? And any recommendations that you have for the material that one should study?
Sure. So just to start, like as I mentioned, it's offered by the IAP, IAP, we call it IAP, which is like International Association of Privacy Professional. So I would say this is, as of now, it's a gold standard and a slightly tough examination in a sense, as we compare to the other certification which they have for privacy for Canada, privacy for European Union, or privacy for USA. So the reason is it has an additional impact element of like your machine learning, and there are a few technical questions as well, like not much but very few. And in terms of preparation, so I spent like over 3 months. So I would say if anyone targeting or aiming for this certification, they should spend around like a good 6 to 8 weeks to prepare for it. And there, and again, not to blame the body, but as we compare to project management or any other certification, well-known certification, unfortunately, the IAP doesn't have much material for all these certification. So that's a challenge. And in this
It's a
case, you
new
can,
one as well, right? So that's
yeah,
also the other
it's
thing.
been like 3 years old, but the
Yeah,
thing is that they don't have the sufficient, just like for PMP, we have 13 version, if I'm not wrong, as of
yeah.
now, or for like for CSIM or CASSP, we have a lot of material but for this one, there will be one standard book of knowledge, and then you have to prepare your own notes or prepare your own cards for that. So I would say it's not as much difficult, but obviously you have to be more, I would say, systematic in approaching
So
for
you
this
did it with
exam.
a study buddy, or did you do it by
Yeah.
yourself?
So
Okay.
I joined a group over the LinkedIn. So my peers, one were based in Gulf and two were based in Europe. So which helped me because in this exam you have the some questions from the global privacy, from the GDPR, or from like California law as well. So it's basically help you when you're working with like your global like teammates. It's basically help you. Otherwise, if you want to do it your own, it's not that much difficult. But again, I would say if you don't have the like a previous experience working in privacy, cybersecurity, or any of GRC, it may be difficult for you. So it will take more time for you.
Makes sense. Thank you so much, Umar, for taking the time out today to talk to our audience. I hope somebody finds it useful, and if somebody needs to reach out to you, I think they can for a more deeper dive. Thank you
Definitely,
so much for
anytime.
doing
Yeah.
this, Umar. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you.